Welcome to our exploration of Karnak Temple, one of the most awe-inspiring and expansive sacred sites in ancient Egypt. The ancient Egyptian temples were not only centers of worship, but also repositories of profound knowledge and layers of esoteric symbolism, available to be unlocked by the initiated. In our Luxor Temple expedition, I presented the hypothesis that the Solar Barque,
we have the Solar Barque,
a symbol of divine procession in Egypt, may share profound connections with the Ark of the Covenant as described in biblical texts. Could the ancient Egyptian Solar Barque, the divine vessel of the gods, be the true ancestor of the Ark of the Covenant? Today, we will search for architectural and symbolic clues hidden within the temple's design, ritual processions, and sacred iconography, and search for evidence that the Karnak Temple is built on a far more ancient sacred site. Join us as we investigate the beautiful Karnak Temple in Thebes. What will we discover? Let's go.
I'm Lex Levy, and this is Ancient Odysseys. Today, we're here at the massive temple complex, Karnak. It was built over 2,000 years, since the Middle Kingdom to the Ptolemaic times.
Once connected to the Nile by a sacred canal, the port was the temple's gateway for processions of divine arrivals, symbolizing the interface between earthly and divine world. The port or harbor of Karnak Temple was a vital part of the temple complex's function and sacred symbolism. Located on the eastern bank of the Nile, this harbor connected the temple to the river via canal, allowing for the arrival of sacred barques or ritual boats during religious festivals like the Opet festival. It served as an entry point for the divine processions and offerings arriving by water, linking the heavens, the Nile, and the temple, themes central to the ancient Egyptian cosmology. These sacred barques were elaborately decorated and symbolized the god's journey between Karnak and Luxor Temple, reinforcing the cosmic order and the king's divine legitimacy.
Let's go.
The Avenue of the Sphinxes, also known as the Sacred Way, is a grand ceremonial road that once connected the Karnak Temple to the Luxor Temple. To be clear, there's actually 3 Avenue of the Sphinxes at the Karnak Temple complex, with the long processional route connecting near the Temple of Khonsu, stretching approximately 2.7 kilometers, and originally flanked by over 1,000 Sphinx statues. This avenue was a symbolic and ritual artery used during the Opet festival. The Sphinxes along the avenue evolved over time. In the northern section,
And here, we have the ram-headed sphinxes, representing the god Amun-Ra.
featured ram-headed sphinxes associated with the god Amun, while the majority of the southern portion displays human-headed sphinxes. These guardian figures line the processional route, representing protection, divine presence, and continuity between the 2 great temples.
I'm standing in the avenue of the sphinxes, and these sphinxes are unique in that they are ram-headed, representing the god Amun-Ra.
The Opet festival was an annual celebration of renewal and divine rebirth, where the sacred barques carrying statues of the Theban triad in a grand procession from Karnak to Luxor Temple.
And between its paws is an effigy.
The Theban triad consists of the gods Amun, Mut, and Khonsu, who are worshipped together primarily at Karnak Temple in ancient Thebes, modern-day Luxor. This divine family symbolized cosmic stability and divine kingship in the New Kingdom. God Amun, the Hidden One, was the supreme creator god and symbol of invisible power and kingship. Originally a local Theban deity, he rose to national importance and merged with Ra to become Amun-Ra, embodying both the unseen and the sun's visible force. He represents divine authority, air, fertility, and the hidden essence of creation. The goddess Mut, meaning mother. She was the divine mother goddess and consort of Amun. She represented maternal protection, queenship, and the cosmic order. Often wearing the double crown of Egypt, Mut symbolized the pharaoh's divine lineage and the unity of the two lands. She was central to the Theban triad and associated with the primordial creation. Khonsu. Khonsu was a youthful moon god and son of Amun and Mut. He represented time, healing, protection, and the cycles of the moon. Often shown as a mummified youth with a sidelock and moon disk, Khonsu was believed to have power over disease and was invoked in rituals for health and guidance. The journey of the sacred barques symbolized the union of God and king, rejuvenating royal power and cosmic harmony. The avenue of the sphinxes, stretching between the two temples, I see it as more than just a processional path. It resembles an umbilical cord, connecting the temple of Man at Luxor with the womb-like precinct of Mut, the mother goddess. Karnak becomes the cosmic brain, Luxor the body, and the temple of Mut the embryonic source, together forming a sacred landscape echoing human anatomy and divine conception.
Про него я вам расскажу, но внутри братства. Но почему поместили статью именно здесь? Что?
Welcome to the Great Court, which greets you with towering columns and colossal statues, serving as a dramatic entrance to the sacred precinct, reflecting the temple's layered construction history.
All right, yeah, so as I mentioned, huge.
This structure is Seti II's contribution to Karnak, which consists of a tripartite barque shrine built in the 19th dynasty, with 3 chambers aligned side by side, each dedicated to one of the Theban triad. These shrines function as resting stations where the barques would pause for rituals, offerings, or purification as they moved through Karnak's sprawling complex.
Most likely restorations.
Should stop studying. check out this huge, pristine cube of alabaster in the center of this courtyard. Has finished edges. What was the purpose of this piece of geometry? Look at the top. It doesn't appear to be a basin.
This to me is not indicative of the same style that we see in the rest of the temple. So as we walk through, that's the main thing that I'm going to be pointing out, is that there is evidence that there is an older part of the structure. The sandstone, 18th, 19th dynasty temple is built around these parts. Same thing as we saw at Luxor, the heart stone. That whole temple may have been erected around that.
Just south of Karnak's second pylon, Ramesses III built an impressive barque shrine to honor the Theban triad. Its entrance is marked by a small pylon, vividly carved with scenes of the king triumphing over his enemies, flanked by two towering statues of Ramesses himself in red sandstone.
And here we have statues of Ramesses III.
As you step inside, the first court is lined with the majestic Osiris statues of the king. This leads into a vestibule, also fronted by Osiris pillars, opening to a compact hypostyle hall.
This is also very reminiscent of what we're going to see in Gandhara Temple tomorrow, with these super elaborate painted hieroglyphs all over the ceiling. There are tons of depictions covering every square inch of this area.
This is not the
No, this is Ramesses II. I don't know what they call this area. It's just a side temple. Yes, temple and temple.
At the heart of the shrine are three chapels, built to house the sacred barques of the gods during the key festivals like the Opet festival.
Wow, that's amazing.
See the camera.
That's so cool.
More architecturally refined than Seti II's shrine, this structure is a powerful statement of Ramesses III's devotion. The walls are alive with intricate reliefs of the king making offerings as the divine barques rest within, bridging the earthly and the divine.
Exploring with my handsome husband, Jeffrey Drum. He's enjoying himself puffing on a cigar.
Alright, so I don't think that shape is original. You can see how there's like, this is all restoration, and there's bricks and stuff in there.
It does look modern.
Well, so here's like,
At least the facade.
The bricks are poking out. Where this has been restored at some point, and then someone went back in and removed part of the restoration. Did you see the block?
No.
Okay.
Let's go.
Here on the right, and a couple of these out of place pieces. And I'm pretty sure that is quartzite. granite. It's not basalt, it's not limestone, it's not sandstone. I'm almost certain that that's quartzite.
Welcome to the Great Hypostyle Hall, which is one of the most breathtaking architectural achievements of ancient Egypt. It's located between the second and third pylons of the Temple of Amun-Ra. It was constructed mainly during the reigns of Seti I and his sons Ramesses II in the 13th century BCE. The hall covers an area of about 50,000 square feet and contains 134 massive sandstone columns arranged in 16 rows. The central 12 columns, each standing about 21 meters, support a higher roof section with clerestory windows, stone grill-like apertures that allow sunlight to filter in, creating a dramatic interplay of light and shadow. The columns are richly carved with hieroglyphs, reliefs, and royal inscriptions, depicting pharaohs making offerings to the gods, especially Amun. The Great Hypostyle Hall is not only a place of ritual, but also a symbolic forest of stone representing the primeval marsh from which creation arose.
I'm now walking the hypostyle court, and you can see the colossal pillars with much of the pigment still intact. It's absolutely amazing. We're now in the hypostyle court. Much of the pigment still remains. They've been restored.
All of this stuff was brand new, polished, painted. It would have been absolutely gorgeous. All of the white, because these were also painted white. You see that the sandstone also has a white paint on it.
Wenn ich hier sagen, zum Beispiel Objekt, ja, egal was du wolltest.
Oh, a marriage proposal.
Behold, the Obelisk of Hatshepsut, the tallest surviving obelisk in Egypt, towering a 97 feet and carved from pink granite, erected in honor of Amun-Ra. The richly inscribed text celebrates Hatshepsut's divine birth, portraying her as a chosen by Amun himself, and emphasizes her role as a pious ruler who restored temples and revived religious traditions neglected by earlier kings. It also boasts of the obelisk's swift construction, completed in just 7 months, as a testament to her devotion and divine favor. This obelisk stands as both a political and spiritual statement, reinforcing Hatshepsut's legitimacy as a female pharaoh and her close connection to the gods. An interesting inscription reads, "The king himself, erection of 2 great obelisks for her father, Amun-Ra, in front of the august colonnade, wrought with exceedingly abundant electrum. Their height pierces the sky and illuminates the 2 lands like the sun disk. Never since the beginning has such a thing been done, that she might be given life."
Chers amis, on voit bien en face de vous là directement, il y a tout la cour qui était vraiment présentée en face, mais c'est la reine Hatshepsut qui avait déjà fait ça. Elle préfère de faire une chapelle à l'intérieur du Karnak.
So we're going to go this way now. And we're going to take a look at probably my first and second favorite area.
Broken the bones or broken the bones? How? To try more to you had
looks like all of this would have been the upper part of the temple that has since fallen down. They've moved all the rubble. You see, this would have been the top of the wall.
I see it. Yeah, that makes sense. Look at how expansive this temple complex is. Horus Ra. Beautiful basin. Now we're walking to find Sekhmet.
Very good, my friend.
Shukran.
You speak Arabic?
شوي شوي أنا بتعلم مصري.
تعلم مصري.
This is the temple of Ptah in Sekhmet. It is a small yet powerful and ancient sanctuary tucked away in the northern part of the Karnak complex. It was originally built during the Middle Kingdom and later restored and expanded by Ramesses III in the 18th dynasty, dedicated to Ptah, the god of craftsmen and creation, and his fierce consort, Sekhmet, the lioness goddess of war and healing.
محمود عجاكم محمود جاكم السلام عليكم
The temple consists of a narrow series of stone chambers, culminating in a dark sanctuary where the statue of Sekhmet resides. This statue is considered highly potent and is often associated with solar energy, protection, and fierce divine presence. The temple retains an unusually mystical atmosphere, enhanced by the cool, dim corridors and the enduring sense of sacred power. Visitors and priests once made offerings here to seek healing, protection, or divine inspiration through Ptah's creative force and Sekhmet's fierce energy.
This one would have had a door. You can see where this was a locking mechanism here. So this door was locked from the inside. Piece that fit here, here. This has been popped out. Very interesting. I'm sure they would call this an offering table of some sort.
Beyond this temple's spiritual significance, we find intriguing clues indicating that this space was an ancient alchemical chamber or laboratory.
Another large single piece of red granite here. Stairway leading to the second floor of this temple here.
Inside the temple, we find several stone tables or platforms, distinct from traditional offering tables, bearing marks, recesses, and arrangements that suggest ritual or practical use, possibly related to alchemical, healing, or transformative practices. These alchemical tables are located within the sanctuary of Sekhmet, and their design differs from typical religious furniture. This space may have functioned as a ritual laboratory where priests or priestesses perform purification rites, energetic work, or even chemistry under the protection and energy of Sekhmet, goddess of healing and transformation.
Here as well. See the top there, green. And this piece could say offering, but you can see here that there is a tubular drill cut here, which in my opinion means that there was a component that was installed here that was also connected into this piece. That may be an inclusion in the stone, like a natural irregularity or inclusion of some sort. But there was something here. Again, these are tube drill cuts, the same thing that you see at Sonore and all over lower Egypt sites. So in my opinion, there was something, I like the term laboratory apparatus, whether it had been a distillation apparatus or something was set up in here. You can also see that there may have been little housings here and here. You could see some indentations here. So there was something that was anchored in this piece. What was it? What was it made out of? What was the function of it? And I also... Does it go anywhere?
There's just a little ledge up
Just
here.
that ledge? Okay.
Let me look real quick. Oh, there's another still.
Okay, so if you look over here before
Pretty
we
cool.
go inside, you can see another sort of iteration of the same idea, but these are in sandstone. All of this temple here is made from sandstone, with the exception of these huge megalithic pieces of red granite. And also, oh, they're not. You take it out of the collection and you do whatever ritual was being performed. Again, these basins most likely housed some sort of ritual liquid. But to me, the sandstone pieces are very different than the red granite pieces.
Yeah.
Behold, the god Ptah.
that have taken video and pictures
He is
of
an
this
ancient
thing.
creator god of
Get
craftsmen,
very strange
architects, and
light-related
artisans,
phenomena.
Ptah, headless,
honored primarily in Memphis.
Like Thor,
Black granite.
all kind of weird stuff.
He created the
And it
world through
depends on
thought
when
and
the
speech,
sun is
embodying
shining
intellectual
through.
creation
But
and
there
divine
is a time of the
craftsmanship.
day when the statue is completely
Often depicted
illuminated.
as a mummified man with a skull cap and holding a scepter.
Yeah, so it would be when it's
Ptah
going that
represents
direction
order,
and heading
design,
down on
and the shaping
face.
of reality,
So now it's
patron
like
of builders and
noon,
artists
almost
throughout
noon.
Egypt. But here, he is headless.
here are all the offerings. Ptah.
Yeah, weird vibe, huh?
Behold, Sekhmet,
Sekhmet.
the fierce lion-headed goddess of war, destruction, and healing. Known as the Powerful One, she was the divine protector of the pharaoh and bringer of plague, or its cure. As the fiery eye of Ra, she represents divine wrath, justice, and transformative power, feared and revered for her ability to annihilate enemies or restore balance. She was closely linked to healing, medicine, and was worshipped especially in times of crisis. Sekhmet's granite statue emits an intense, almost supernatural energy, and many claim to feel her presence in her dark sanctuary. The combination of Sekhmet's intense solar-lunar energy, the secluded nature of the chambers, and these mysterious stone tables reinforces the idea that this temple was not only a place of worship, but perhaps a center of ancient sacred science.
And they go through the path and they do the same thing every day. So it's like they're a little walkthrough. Autopilot. And it's funny because I catch myself doing the same thing because there's areas of the temple that I want to look at that I think are important. So I always bring people to this area and I said, okay, we'll look at this here on the ground and then look at this. And then,
Really?
there's one thing that I want to show before we go out. Not the type of school that holds bossing this type of technology and laser and precision, but you hear this abundant rhetoric about
The record is bad. So the stories in the temple is not only religious as well, it's about the policy of the king, about
Alright, so the part we're entering now is the Holy of Holies.
the heart of the temple. And you'll see these huge red granite blocks. This entire structure.
At the cosmic center of Karnak, the sanctuary was the dwelling place of Amun during rituals, accessible only to high priests and pharaohs, believed to be a chamber of direct divine contact. It is aligned with the temple's central axis and was surrounded by ancillary chapels and offering rooms.
Red granite walls and ceiling, adorned with stars, painted with Egyptian blue.
The Holy of Holies represented the primordial mound of creation, where the world emerged and the divine order was maintained through ritual. And I believe what we find at the center of the sanctuary is a well.
And the pillars behind, we're gonna go there later. No one can explain that. And which kind of condition bring it to that situation? Even those granite goes to the sea, never lose like that way. So later we can come here as well. So let's go to see this.
Left down right side with the hand of the master artist. We say the relief of the Philip Paradise Holy Words of Karnak is so unique. Please try looking at oh, true. He would take to gain a smile with
All these things are supposed to represent. There's definitely some jewelry.
And that is.
aesthetics there.
And all sorts of different vessels and containers. I really, really like this wall.
Oh, this is very cool.
Yeah, so that's what we saw. This is actually basalt. This is black. I thought there was one that was basalt. But yeah, that's what, again, very, very different.
Or maybe 3 pieces.
Yes, yeah.
So all the offerings.
There's like a channel. So something was excavated out of here where they dug up the floor. Then all the interior stuff is that. This has all been excavated out. The center of this, whatever was in here, the floor here,
I
has all
see
been.
it.
So original floor, but all of this has been excavated and replaced.
This is replacement. And you can see the defacement here. All chiseled out. Through the Stargate. The Zipper Star. Oh, dovetail joinery. It's offering tables.
This is a Nylometer.
There's this channel, still filled with standing water. It looks like it ran directly under these temples.
It was used to measure the Nile's flood levels and helped predict the agricultural calendar, and was tied deeply to ritual offerings and seasonal festivals.
Looking at a monitor. I would not recommend that.
I know, because there's some good light growing in there.
So you can see that there's still water table below the structure. As Amr was saying, it's interfered somewhat with the archaeological investigation of the site. So clearly there are sections of this temple that are designed to tap into the water table.
A lot of river stone on it.
And we're actually going to see some Nylometers when we do the Nile cruise. Where was the Nylometer?
An Elephantine.
Elephantine Island. Yep.
And that's what detects the depth or the height of the
Correct. The flooding of the Nile River. Yep.
Armor, what are these right here?
Looks like these are bases for a baboon statuary. Oh, how strange. Hello.
Can we take with us?
Oh, shukran. Shukran. Here we have another colossal piece of alabaster or calcite crystal in the center of the court. It's a tubular drill. Here is the red granite chamber containing the Holy of Holies.
Yeah, modern. It's just they tried to put all of these pieces back together here. It was most likely completely broken into tiny pieces, and they moved them all back together and set them on this platform. And in my opinion, this thing was broken up when they were removing whatever was in here.
It's not connected to this.
So these, I have to look and make sure before I say something wrong. Yeah, this is actually red granite. These pieces are all red granite. Yeah.
Because these are just the only block that made it like.
Well, it's like the same of any other piece, but again, I don't even know what would do that.
This is the Akhmenu Temple, also known as Thutmose III's Festival Hall. It is a unique temple within a temple, and it houses astronomical ceilings, exotic plant reliefs, and scenes of Thutmose's divine commune, rich with symbolic geometry. This innovative structure was built during the 18th dynasty and dedicated primarily to Amun. It served as a ceremonial religious space, celebrating Thutmose III's Sen festival.
Yeah, so Egyptian blue is a compound known as calcium copper silicate. Yes. A very sophisticated chemical molecule.
A jubilee marking the king's renewed divine authority. Architecturally, it stands out with features unlike traditional temples. It has a hypostyle hall with slender papyrus columns, botanical reliefs showcasing exotic plants and animals brought from foreign campaigns, and scenes emphasizing the king's military prowess and divine legitimacy. The hall also functioned as a cosmic space, symbolizing creation and order, reinforcing the pharaoh's role as the mediator between gods and the world. Egyptian blue is the world's first synthetic pigment, developed by the ancient Egyptians over 4,500 years ago. It is valued for its vivid, luminous, stable blue color. Its chemical composition is calcium copper tetrasilicate. It was made by heating a precise mix of silica or sand, calcium carbonate or lime, copper ore or bronze shavings, and an alkali like natron to around 900 degrees Celsius. This process created a stable crystalline material that reflects infrared light, a property still studied today for applications in modern technologies like medical imaging and solar cells.
Look up. The ceiling is adorned with stars painted with Egyptian blue. It's still so vibrant.
You would need 100 gallons of paint to paint this area. This is just one area of one temple.
It's part of their it's like a scepter. That's emblematic of the rule. And then they have here you have somebody holding up the hand.
We are now approaching one of my favorite structures in all of the Karnak Temple complex. It's called the Osiris Temple. This small and often overlooked structure is tied to the Osirian mysteries and rebirth rituals, possibly used in secret rites reenacting the death and resurrection of Osiris. Within the Osiris Temple, we find two intriguing esoteric motifs, the 7 gates and the 7 keys. In the Osirian context, the 7 gates symbolize the soul's passage through stages of initiation and judgment in the duat or underworld.
So whatever this thing was of particular significance. And it does appear that originally this thing was painted. You can see a bit of blue still left in here. In my estimation, there would also probably have been a metal inlay somewhere in this as well.
Each gate is guarded and requiring a key, a metaphor for specific knowledge, virtues, or energetic thresholds. Passing through them leads to rebirth and union with Osiris, the god of resurrection and eternal life.
I see your lighter again.
I'm standing in front of the 7 gates. It's facing south. False doors are usually on the western face of a temple or tomb.
The 7 gates and the 7 keys are layered in symbolism. They mirror the 7 alchemical steps: calcination, dissolution, separation, conjunction, fermentation, distillation, and coagulation, and can represent the transformation of the base, the lead, into the divine, the gold. Each gate reflects one alchemical stage, corresponding to purification, destruction of the ego, integration, and eventual enlightenment. Each gate in the Osiris Temple corresponds to an alchemical step, a planetary force, and an energy center, chakra, marking a path from the material bondage to divine unity. The initiate, like Osiris, must pass through these gates to be reborn as an eternal being, transcending duality. On a microcosmic level, the journey reflects the transformation of the human soul. On a macrocosmic scale, it symbolizes the cycles of nature, celestial movements, and cosmic order. This layered symbolism turns the Osiris Temple into both a literal temple and a spiritual laboratory of inner alchemy and cosmic balance.
And here are the 7 keys of life under the wings of the solar disk.
This powerful system bridges Egyptian theology with Hermetic philosophy, presenting the Osiris Chapel as not just a temple, but a map of the cosmos and the soul, a portal between the microcosm, man, and the macrocosm, the universe.
Favorite thing about where?
So you'll see again with the well, water is
As we have seen at so many other sacred sites, water plays a profound role, and it can be found here running beneath the sprawling Karnak Temple complex.
water is not conducted. Alright, so restroom. While we're over
This
here,
is
while
the
we have a
sacred
chance, if anybody's gotta
It is a
go,
large rectangular man-made basin, and it played a vital role in Egyptian temple rituals.
I'm Lex Levy, and this is Ancient Odysseys. Today we're here at Karnak, and I'm standing next to the sacred lake. Behind me is the artificial lake constructed by Thutmose III, filled with brackish water. And it's a home of many of aquatic birds.
Measuring approximately 120 meters long by 77 meters wide, it was built by Thutmose III during the 18th dynasty.
Okay, let's take a look at this Nylometer. Want to look? Oh, you can still see standing water.
This lake symbolized the primordial waters of creation. It served as a place of ritual purification for priests before they entered the temple. It was also used in ceremonial processions, especially during major festivals like the Opet.
Herodotus wrote about the artificial Lake Moeris. So this is evidence that they did, in fact, create artificial lakes.
Priests may have sailed modeled barques on its surface during these rites, mirroring divine journeys. The lake was connected to wells and underground water sources, ensuring a constant water supply, and today it still holds water, an impressive feat, and it adds to the mystical atmosphere of Karnak.
This is one piece right here. This is a piece of granite. This is still one single piece here, and then it stops. This is another. This is a huge single piece here. It definitely looks like there was something here as well, but just giant pieces of crystal. Crystal, yeah. You can see, like in through here, the crystalline pattern of this. No, this is calcite crystal. Calcite crystal, yeah. So here, look.
Babe.
If you were to wash this off, it would be clear. You can see, like transparent. Oh, I definitely think so. Oh, yeah. So, well, you guys have all heard this already from the Grand New Egyptian Museum. Here's that same Jed pillar with the enclosed symbol for water. But we were talking about, anybody on the members only channel, I was talking about how the Jed pillar represents electrical stability and balance. This is that same hieroglyph with the Jed pillar supporting what looks to be possibly plasma.
Plasma.
So I did a recent
No, it's two. Oh.
So I've seen these marks kind of all over the temple. You see these weird. I don't have a good explanation for what that is. They're very unusual because they're very smooth. You can see the indentations, like it's not a chisel mark.
What pharaoh would that be, Amar?
So I'm not sure what these features are.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna see around the temples, even and on that.
Wow. Holy sh...
Not behind.
They show you your size in front of them. And those are material of the what is like different stones.
We're on our way to the Temple of Mut, which is a little further along the way. We traveled the avenue of the sphinxes to reach the Temple of Mut. Here you can see inside of a pylon.
remember we had it on the hotel that one time they had my name and it has those like 2 dots and then it's like the slash. I don't know whether that's T or T. I think it's T. No, look.
Now we're traveling the avenue of the Sphinxes to the Mut Temple. This is so cool.
Anything? No.
Nothing?
So they're supposed to be like just inside of the sand.
Yeah? No.
Yes, you can. It's open.
To the hotel?
Not to the hotel, to the Luxor Temple.
To the temple, yeah.
Free entry. Likely a Ramesses statue, and you can see the same thing that we see at the Grand Egyptian Museum is the articulation of the forearm muscles, and then look at the shoulder muscles too. It's pretty cool. And this place is full of Sekhmet statues. There's one there, there's Sekhmets. All of these are Sekhmet.
Yeah, this is what Joel wanted me to get pictures of.
The Temple of Mut is a significant yet often overlooked part of the Karnak Temple complex. It's located to the south of the main temple of Amun. It's dedicated to Mut, the powerful mother goddess and consort of Amun, forming part of the divine Theban triad with Amun and Khonsu.
Bess? Did you see Bess?
Built mainly during the New Kingdom, particularly under Amenhotep III and Ramesses II. The temple includes a large sacred lake known as Ishiru, which is crescent-shaped, symbolizing the womb and feminine creation. Surrounding the site are numerous statues of the lion-headed Sekhmet, possibly relocated from other temples, which were placed to invoke protection and healing, as Sekhmet was seen as an aspect or fierce manifestation of Mut. The temple was a center for rituals of fertility, creation, and renewal. And during the Opet festival, Mut's image would join the divine procession from Karnak to Luxor. Though now partially ruined, excavations continue to reveal its importance in the religious and symbolic landscape of ancient Thebes.
Shukran. Wow. Oh, she's beautiful. Camila. Sekhmet. And she has a crown of Ure. Hathor, head and sistrum.
And I've just never been out here before. But you can also get a sense of the destruction of the temple and all the stones that have been quarried and removed from this area. You know, this used to be a complete structure, and this is all that's left of it.
Right. So you think it was torn down for building purposes?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, so now we're going to head toward the sacred temple known as Maktab.
Oh, Hathor. This is a special place. Oh, Hathor. Shukran.
Shukran, Hathor.
Beautiful.
Hathor.
The entire Dendera temple
Hathor
is dedicated to Hathor.
Is this here?
I think it's the reeds.
Oh, correct.
Coptis.
It's the reed, like the sound and like the reeds of
The shade.
Yeah.
This gonna be here.
Oh, her British?
Touch here.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
This gonna be touch here. 3-3.
So is the crown?
Shukran.
Yeah.
Is this Horus, Madame Osiris?
Horse?
Someone Hatshepsut here.
Wow, the colors. She has a coal.
It's Hor and Hathor
Oh, Sobek?
and Amun.
Amun?
Amun.
There's an area where you can
Hathor
stand
and
up,
Amun.
and it's a huge pond. The lake is still there. You can't see it because there's an area over here where there's a little dip where you can still see the water.
Is this Horus?
Horse.
Oh, and are these the metal?
Clamps. Yeah.
Where was that pyramid that was destroyed where you saw this like in your footage of it in your video?
The lost pyramid in Dashur.
What is here?
The lost. So there's black, red, thin, and lost, correct? Is that it?
Did you see Sobek?
Yeah.
From the Avenue of the Sphinxes to the Holy of Holies, we uncovered layers of esoteric symbolism. We explored the 7 gates of initiation hidden within the Osiris Chapel, mirroring alchemical transformation, planetary forces, and the chakras of the human body. We investigated the barque shrines of Seti II and Ramesses III, and the sacred landscape linking Karnak to Luxor and the Temple of Mut. We uncovered a divine blueprint where the heavens meet earth and man meets God. Could these divine vessels, solar barques, be more than symbolic? Could they represent a proto-Ark of the Covenant, coded in Egyptian temple design long before biblical texts? What if the Ark of the Covenant didn't originate in the deserts of the Sinai, but were born here along the Nile, encoded in Egypt's solar theology? Join us as we follow the trail of the Ark, temple by temple, symbol by symbol, searching for its true origin in the heart of Egypt's oldest mysteries. If you are as intrigued as I am, please subscribe, like, and comment what you think. The adventure is just beginning. Never stop exploring.